Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Kinsey Manufacturing. Another service segment today. Kinsey Informational Service segments, our service webinars. We've called them a lot of different things. A little different format for us. Welcome. We're glad that you're here with us today. First, this wouldn't be happening without some people that I want to make sure that we recognize today. Bill Erickson, our director, is here with us in the room. And we have Zach behind the camera and all the microphones, and as Bill said, all the other gadgets that he takes care of these webinars. Of course, Brandon and Kurt, we're all going to play a role today, but welcome. We're glad that you're here. Guys, a couple of things. The Teams format, I think we're all still getting used to some of the features and function sets here with Teams. But guys, for these webinars, the way we make it flow is that the chat function is not on for this event. We are using the Q&A function, question and answer, and in that way we can route them through our mediator, which is Brandon today, to make sure that we identify them as they come in, see where they fit. Sometimes we'll be able to answer them immediately. Sometimes we'll save them for the different question periods that we have set up during different points of the webinar. So please use the Q&A section. Cullen dropped one in there early before the meeting started. Thank you. In regard to how do I take attendance. For example, I've got several guys sitting in the conference room watching today. I want to make sure they all get recorded for attendance. Guys, as we get towards the end of the segment today, we will post the attendance quiz, if you want to call it that. So each of you individually in the room, even though there's only one login on the screen that we can see, all of you guys can get credit for attending the program today. So great question to start things off, and great use of the Q&A. Colin, thank you. Guys, our topic today is going to change a little bit. I don't know if you were looking at the agenda that had been put through our Thursday communication, but we were going to do a cab kit install for a Blue Vantage display. Because we have some scheduling conflicts coming up here later this afternoon, we will shorten this particular event up today to about 40 minutes so that we can have things rearranged for the next event coming in here to the product center. Because of that, we are going to do the PTO pump install, and we will flip-flop those time frames. So tomorrow at this same time, 1 o'clock, we will be doing the Blue Vantage cab kit install, and that's going to include all the GPS questions and connectivity issues as well. But today's topic, a little bit shortened on the webinar, but we will be doing the PTO pump install today. I think with that, that's kind of all the housekeeping rules. I'm watching to see if there's anybody popping up on Q&A, but guys, know that that should be open, may be found in different areas depending on whether you're on a mobile device or on a regular computer, but look for the Q&A section. So why are we here? Why are we doing these service segments? Guys, every year for a long time we've done some sort of service training. We look at what issues have been brought here to us at Kinsey over the course of the year. We look at warranty events. We look at all sorts of different things out there and say, how can we help? How can we provide you, make you more prepared to be more comfortable and confident servicing our Kinsey products out there in the field? So service training has been around for quite some time. This year we're going to do our best to also not just provide service information via webinar, but also these will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. We started here some time ago with Zach's assistance, making our Kinsey informational service segments and posting them on YouTube. These are going to be available not only for you, but in many cases, if customers are looking for information, they'll have access to it as well. So that's going to be our format going forward, and hopefully it'll be useful to you, not just today, but you can go back and grab it and look at it again as you get closer to the actuality of having to install one of these PTO pumps later in the season. Number one, thank you again for joining, but number two, with the limited time, we'd probably better get rolling. So Brandon's going to be our moderator. Kurt and I are going to get started with the display unit, and then we'll actually install a pump mount on a tractor. All right, I'm going to move over and we'll take a look at this display unit. All right, you'll have to keep me in frame. But guys, what we have here is a display stand illustrating obviously the back end of an 8R tractor and a pump mount and a variable displacement PTO pump attached to it. So yes, we've already caught all the jokes that there's no heavy hoses and we're not hooked to a planter, but I think to illustrate it and be able to see and understand all the reasons behind the need or the requirement here, this is a great opportunity. So thanks again to Ag Engineering, our local manufacturer of this specific pump mount, for providing us with the display stand and all the material that we're using today. I'm going to keep looking at my sheet too so I stay on track, but critical to function, guys. Our technology planters are all coming today with a PTO pump that gives us the ability to hook to just about any color of tractor, regardless of age, where we may not have enough hydraulic capacity to run all of the features and function sets of the technology machines. It also then helps us isolate and be confident in the control systems we're putting on the planter. So many different reasons why it's a standard part of all technology planters. How we mount it to the tractor is something that's a third-party provider. So this piece of the puzzle that we're looking at here, the pump mount, is not a Kinsey part. Some guys don't realize that. It's critical to function. I have to have one to make my Kinsey planter work. But the question then, what am I going to hook it to? Kinsey can't build a standard pump mount that fits everything. And as we start to install this, you'll see how challenging that is, the variability of what tractor is on in the front of it. And even sometimes with the same series of tractor, a serial number brake will change how the pump mounts as well. So all those things are the reason why Kinsey doesn't provide it, and it's the dealer, you guys, that are out there putting these together that is responsible to order it by machine for each customer to fit his specific tractor. Okay. Now recognize that there's a choice. There are basically two providers out here for this pump mount. There's the Ag Engineering folks that are local here in Wellman, Iowa. Like I said, providing the display and the pump mount for today. There's also a pump mount supplier in Minnesota, Command Hydraulics. Both of them have different options and choices. You can certainly take a look at both of those. The one we're going to be using today is Ag Engineering. And guys, this one's built a little bit differently, has some patented feature sets that are I think you're going to see why we're using it for our display as far as ease of use, accuracy, repeatability, and structural integrity as well. Okay, so the pump comes with the planter, the tractor belongs to the customer. It's this piece of the puzzle in the middle that's important. And guys, critically, the pump shaft and the PTO shaft have to line up as near perfectly as possible. That's the critical component of any of these pump mounts, is not only alignment, but then ultimately stability to make sure that we can maintain that alignment. Guys, the pump itself is a expensive component of the system. Whether or not it's this style with the variable displacement or the single or dual gear pumps, all of the need for this pump mount remains the same, and the alignment is critical for both. But we've got quite a bit of mass, quite a bit of weight, overhung. We have to maintain this alignment through the planting season. And guys, if we're not heat, wear, vibration, all of these are signs that we aren't keeping this critical interface where it needs to be. Okay, so in this particular case, we're looking at mounting to something solid. We're picking up off of the drawbar mount. And here's where we'll take a look at the actual parts here in a minute. But we talk about different components. There's what they're going to call a tractor plate. The very bottom of this that sits against the drawbar. This is going to be customized to the machine. This has to meet the drawbar hole positions so that we can put the through bolts through and attach it. The next plate up that sits on top of it is, I think I'm going to use the official term, it's a swivel mount. Okay, nope, that's the top piece, I take that back. Base frame and swivel mount. I'm trying to use the actual terminology that comes with the instruction, guys, so I don't confuse anybody. But base plate and swivel mount, These are coming together with an adjustable, so we have height, we have in and out, and we have side to side. So all axes are represented with the adjustability of this mount. So even if my location of the mount itself is not quite true, I have the ability to straighten things up and make sure my shaft aligns. The last thing that I'll note, this pump mount design comes with a grab handle, because we talk about the weight, and by the time we hang the hoses and stuff off of it, guys, this arrangement allows you a little bit easier access to manhandle the pump and the hoses when it's on there by incorporating a grab handle to it. So it does ease the work of taking it off or putting it back on again. All right. What are we missing so far, Brandon? You're our mediator here.
Yeah, not much. Can you get a jump to the exploded view, or give them a better visual?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump to the exploded view if you can for just a minute. I think it may help to show, guys. You can see, and here's where I'm trying to pull my terminology from as well, but you can see in that diagram, this is part of the actual installation instructions. The parts blow up, but the tractor base plate is that tractor specific component, that item number 7. We work up. Item number 6 is that base frame. It sits down on that. And then item number 4 is the swivel mount. So those are the key components that allow us to mount it securely to the tractor, align it correctly to the PTO shaft, and then lock it all together in a structurally sound position to hold that pump during use. Okay, and I think you'll see that as we start to put the pieces together. Let's go ahead and go over to the tractor then, guys. I think that's the next place that we need to spend most of our time. I'm going to grab my safety glasses and my gloves here, guys.
Safety's important, Phil.
All right. So, guys, here out on the floor is another pump mount. It's the same thing that we have on the display stand. This one's been installed several times. Once again, we've used it for not only demonstration for training purposes, but we've also used it for the folks out at our Blue Equipment dealership. So you'll notice that they're all scratched up, and that's because they're well used. All right, guys. In this situation, we've got an 8R tractor here, and the first thing that we're going to be looking at is this tractor base plate. This is what we keep saying is specific to each machine and has to be customized to the tractor. So when you're ordering these and you're talking to the supplier, in this case, Ag Engineering, they're going to ask those questions. They're going to say, hey, what model tractor do you have? What planter do you have? They're going to make sure that they get this sent correctly for you.
I believe the last page of the outline, there is 3 different base plates that are available with this pump mount.
Okay, and that's just for the 8000 series tractor. There's all sorts of pump mount availability for red tractors, green tractors, blue tractors, you name it. Guys, we've already removed the original drawbar location bolts. In some cases they're pins, and in this case they were bolts. And we always want to make sure that when we install one of these pump mounts that we're going back together with bolts. This tractor plate has to be firmly affixed to the tractor. I can't have any movement here. I say that because I've seen somebody put pins back in here and try to let it float. That's not what we want to do here. We want to make darn sure that this plate stays solid. So we've taken the 2 original bolts out. We've got 4 new bolts because we're going to put all 4 bolts into the base plate. Now, nothing gets tightened immediately, guys. We've got adjustability built into this whole package. So all we're doing is running them up finger tight at this point in time, allowing some movement. All right. So we've got the base plate on here, but this is still movable, guys. We've still got some room to adjust things around. The base plate then is also, looks to be universal. I could put it on either direction. Recognize that there is a direction to the base plate and the swivel mount. And probably the easiest way to tell you how that works, guys, is there's slots in the ends of these where the adjustment bolts. As I drop these two together, they have to be going opposite directions and form a cross to give me all of the different axes. So we can always double check by knowing that I've got this slot running this way, this slot running this way, and you can also see in the assembly instructions provided that the tapered side of this is always going to be facing the implement, or the planter in this case. Okay, so there are some subtleties that we want to make sure that we're getting things assembled correctly. They're very well identified in the instruction sheets, but also we can tell because we're opposite direction of the slot, providing us with all of the adjustability we need between the two. Okay, so in this case, base plate can go on, and there's a series of 6 bolts. Guys, also very critically, leave that one out, Kurt, that'll be fine for now.
Okay.
Different hardware in the package to be identified. There's grade 5 hardware, which is a zinc silver, and we've got grade 8s, and they are the gold colored. We can also identify them by the indications on the head of the bolt to make sure. And there's some different lengths. It's going to be advisable to kind of sort your hardware, guys, to make sure that we're grabbing the right stuff for the right place. The grade 8 hardware is also going to have a heavy washer on either side, both the head and the lock nut side, as we go over the slotted adjustment hole. So when we bring them up to full torque, we've got the clamping power we need. Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run those in a little bit to get them close to being snug.
But once again, even these 6 bolts, guys, we are not going to tighten them yet. We need to maintain our adjustability. Okay, thank you, Kurt. So everything's still free to move. The parts of the puzzle that we haven't really shown or identified yet that are still out here on the ground, guys. Kurt brought forward the pump adapter plate. But in the same location as we're fitting this pump mount comes with an alignment tool. And this is a very critical component. You'll notice that the alignment tool, number one, has a step out or a boss that allows us to make sure that it's centered on the plate, just like the pump mount. So we're machined to make sure that we're centered. But we've also got this bolt through the center of it. And guys, this sets our depth. It's a key area to make sure that the pump shaft and the PTO shaft have appropriate clearances while we maximize the coupler engagement so that we don't have any interference there. These pumps will not take end loading on the shaft. They will be damaged, and it will cause you downtime in the field. So the alignment tool is not just giving us all of the different axes for alignment of the shaft itself, but it's also setting appropriate depth. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put it in place. The hardware's here to bolt it, and there's no play in this at all. This is how we're getting that accurate and repeatable alignment. So not just the first time, but we're going to use this tool every time the pump comes on and off. We've got guys that will leave the bracket plates on their tractors and other things of that nature. Regardless, by the time you get to next season, you think, oh, I can just slide my pump back up on there. We're still going to recommend that you slide the alignment tool on first to make sure nothing has changed over time. So I'm just going to give those a little bit of a snug to hold it in position. There we go. So my swivel plate with the alignment tool, I'm going to be able to bring this up, bring it in, and now I'm slid onto, and I'm pushing it into full depth. Now I've got my 8 bolts, 4 on each side, that I can start to, here again, attach my swivel and my base plate.
You're making sure that you're up against a stop, because that's a very critical point. The depth of it.
Yep. So, guys, the other thing that I'll throw at you, Brandon's following along, making sure I don't miss anything in the instructions. Head of the bolts inside, nuts to the outside. The reason that's important is that, especially with these pumps, clearances get tight. This is designed to be as compact as possible, and just enough difference that if I put the nut on the inside with the extra dimension, it's not going to fit. Once again, these are grade 8 hardware that we're using, guys, with the heavy flat washers on both the head and the nut side, so that we're going up against the slotted surfaces.
Phil, you already had the 4 studs off now the block 2 correct?
Still on this one?
Thank you, Brandon. The answer is yes. Because this is a used pump mount, guys, what Brandon's referring to is what we'll call the pump mount studs. There's 4 grade 5 hardware right here on the 4 corners of the swivel mount. When we get all said and done, that's what the pump swings up and helps you set it on and align it as you connect your shafts. These have already been installed in the plate and will normally be left there even season to season. That's why they're still installed here. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Kurt, if you'll bring these up once again, guys, these 8 bolts we just put in, I'm missing one here, but will be brought up snug but not tight. We still need to make sure the last little bit of alignment happens and we don't get things off center.
The back ones are a little bit more difficult to get to. You might have to use 2 wrenches.
So while Kurt grabs the wrenches, just here again, making sure everything's loose and we're keeping that pump mount all the way to the rear, to that set bolt with the PTO shaft.
Say, Phil, and while Kurt's doing that as well, I will bring up the fact when you install the alignment tool to the
Base mount or
flex plate, I remember Steve saying that it's
pretty critical to make
the
sure
back
that
is also flush in there because he has
seen those
thought
as well. So just keep that in mind
guys
as you're
install
installing
with that. Even though it does add that box fill
something about it is possible to get those to not be truly flush with that front plate.
So while Kurt's doing that, maybe we step back here. It's all right, Zach, and we'll kind of illustrate the comment that Brandon's making. Guys, this whole thing, we keep talking about straight alignments at all angles. This is fixed to the tractor, and we've lined it with the alignment tool. we're swinging in this pump, and this is what we've got to mate. These surfaces are piloted, or there's an embossment, if you will, to make sure that they're completely centered and completely flat together. So it's these surfaces here that we're going to watch as we bolt them together in the final step, that everything locks into place, that we don't have it stepped out of place. Okay? How you feeling, Kurt? Are we looking good?
So everything's snug, but not tight. We can still
Okay.
have motion. Everything moves around.
So we're going to make sure in this position now that we're pushed all the way ahead forward to the PTO shaft of the tractor. And at that point, we can kind of start from the bottom up, all the pieces that we've looked at, and begin to tighten the assembly. So in this case, Kurt's starting with the drawbar bolts that go in and give us the attachment to the tractor.
If I had a deep pulse socket.
Now, the other thing to mention, tractors are all different. This particular 8R has the drawbar reinforcement, second cast bar that's coming underneath. Guys, there can be some tight clearances sometimes to get this hardware in place. Recognize that, but also you can make sure that you have the right hardware before you get started. That is not something that comes with the kit, by the way. Little sidebar note. In this particular case, there were only 2 bolts in this original drawbar. We had to come up with the extra hardware to put in position because, once again, those can all be very tractor-specific hardware components. It will be your responsibility to find that extra hardware to assemble this. And that's just for these through bolts. Everything else is provided in the kit. Okay, so now we're tight to the base plate, or the tractor plate. There's the 6 bolts that we're going to tighten up from the tractor to the base plate. So, yeah, once again, we can kind of make sure it's where we want it to be. So as Kurt's doing this, I have a question for you, Brandon.
Yeah, Phil.
Is an impact wrench a torque wrench?
No, it is not.
Aha! Funny, it should be mentioned right in the instruction sheet that the hardware selection, the use of the appropriate flat washers in the right places is all design intent. Okay?
But I believe these are 106 pounds.
So 1/2 inch grade 8. Kurt's checked it. He does have 106 foot-pounds written down over here, and we do indeed have the torque wrench. Okay, so it's preset. We were ready to go, but guys, that can be a course of a lot of jokes time to time that I just heard that click. It must be tight.
It must be.
But the reality is, do the job right. Make sure that we're doing it right the first time, and do use your torque wrench. So tractor plate, base plate's now secured, and the remaining, tightness is in these 8 that we've got for the swivel mount. And once we get those set up.
One more time that we're good. I always use the impact when I can to speed things up a little bit.
Well, Kurt, I'm not seeing a pair of pliers around. You bring a pair of pliers?
Behind me on
Okay.
that bench.
Why do we need pliers, guys? As we get done tightening these, the alignment tool comes out. So my 2 locator bolts will be taken out and unused again. but little 3/8 bolt sticking out here. The only reason that's on there is just a grab handle. It's not uncommon to have to give it a tap or two to make sure it releases out of the embossed area, but effectively all that bolt is there for is to release the plate. So let's see how good we did. Thank you.
I didn't even need it.
Okay, must be good.
Everything was lined up perfect.
All right, so once again, guys, that alignment tool is embossed. So we know that all of this is centered. Everything's now mounted securely to the tractor, and we're all within very, very close, nearly perfect alignment with the mount plate that's going to go on it. So the coupler, guys, the coupler, the other nice thing about this particular design is it's designed with this that we're talking about arrangement to allow the coupler to be serviced without removing the mount.
But before you install that coupler, you're going to put moly grease on your spline.
Okay. Key importance, lubrication. This is a wear item, guys, and we can talk to that a little bit more, but this is to be expected in normal consumable item. How long your interval is between service is also going to give you your wear life characteristics. So strongly recommended here again in the instruction sheets and over years of use, but any of these spline shafts should be clean and then lubricated with a 5% moly. It's over-the-counter stuff. You can get it. There's some that comes with the kit. You can get it. I mean, you probably have it at the dealership for other things, but it's that moly component in the spline application that makes a big difference, not only for wear life characteristics, but then being able to remove this and service it regularly over time. The other thing that's been added is we do have a grease zerk on the tractor side. That's not been a part of other designs in the past, so that we can continue to maintain a good coating of moly in there. And we will still recommend regular lubrication of the connector chain as well. So all of these are meant to be a movable connection. So we've got a little bit of float in here that it's gonna be key as we put the pump on and check alignment one more time that we get this same movement of the coupler. So we can go ahead and get this on, slide this onto our tractor half. You can see we can service that through the mount even though the mount's in place.
We'll just say that this is a super heavy pump that I'm lifting up here with ease with one hand.
Guys, put this alignment tool someplace you won't lose it, okay? Keep your hardware and your alignment tool. You need to reuse this every time. Now, I'm going to show it one more time. Guys, this pump mount has the same boss on it. Can you see that, Zach?
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Okay. This is all part of the design that makes this work. Not only can we align it very specifically, but once the pump embossment is bolted, these 4 bolts are hanging that pump on there securely. Like Kurt said, I got a good handle so I can hold on to it. As I'm swinging that heavy devil in here, I can get a hold of my mount studs, I can get my shaft lined up, and as I set it in place, I've got that second embossment. I want to make sure that I'm seated and I know everything then is truly lined up and through. That's the key here. Okay. So in this particular case, guys, we didn't put the pump on. We knew we didn't want to or need to so that we could see more clearly. That's also why we wanted to use the display stand, but pretty important process to make sure things get lined up and stay there. If we had a pump on here, guys, and could throw the PTO in gear, one of the first signs that we've done the job correctly is that there's not going to be any movement or vibration. You may not be able to see anything change other than the stiffening of the hose that you've turned on the PTO pump, because that pump stays solid, still, and quiet. Okay. That chain coupler is also our key indicator. I should be able to, once the pump is installed and bolted up, I should be able to come back here and get some movement out of that chain coupler. Just, I'm going to say maybe 1/4 of an inch. There's not a lot of free play in here because of the way that it's set and aligned, but nonetheless, I should be able to move the chain, move the coupler a little bit. That's also a good indicator of alignment. Okay. And then once it's running, check the temperature. Okay. Most of us have an IR point and shoot heat gun anymore. They're relatively inexpensive. I use them for everything from barbecues to wheel bearings to balers but guys, that coupler should run cool. What does cool mean, right?
A little bit above ambient temperature, I guess. What?
Okay, we're going to have heat in this area because that pump and the oil temperature may be running in the 140, 160 range. Okay, that coupler is going to run in that same range. It's going to pick up some of the machine heat and everything else, but it should stay there, right? If we've got a coupler that's burning grease off the chain, or we're seeing temperatures get up in the 250, 300 degree range, then that's also indicating friction. That's also indicating alignment related concerns. So we need to, number one, keep it well lubricated, but number two, watch for those symptoms and make sure that we address them if they occur, so we don't see wear of the coupler. In some cases that can translate into wear of the shaft on either the pump and or the tractor itself as well.
Well, Phil, I have a question for you. Let's say I got done with planning, I had this on there, didn't use the tractor for anything else, I put it in the shed, got out next spring. Should I realign it or check it?
Did you take the pump off, yes or no?
Yeah, I took the pump off. It stayed with the planter.
Okay, so while you disconnected it, you still didn't use the tractor for anything else. The answer is yes. Anytime the pump is removed, come back and find your alignment tool and do just that. Put the alignment tool back on, check it, make sure everything's there before you swing your pump back into place. Absolutely check it every time. Okay? Good question. All right. Parts and pieces. We've got a full assembly over here. We'll head back to the table. How are we looking for time, Brando?
Say we are getting pretty close to the end here, so 5 more minutes.
Okay. So any questions at this stage of the game, guys?
I don't have any of mine.
Okay. All right.
So I have a suggestion. This is a fucking review. What are the common mounting errors that you're seeing out the other techniques?
Okay. Bill's bringing up a question. I don't know if it was very well heard. What are the typical mounting concerns? And I would say that the mounting concerns have varied by pump mount style. Okay. Like we mentioned before, there is more than one. We're highlighting the Ag Engineering Systems one today. And I think for a lot of the reasons we mentioned, consistency, structural integrity, the pump mount errors have been alignment on any of the axis. Okay, so we've seen pumps that were hanging down this way and then binding on the shaft. We have seen pumps that were set at an angle this direction and not aligned properly. Once again, the end result's the same. It binds on the shaft and causes wear and heat. We've also seen that pump shaft interference that we mentioned. Guys, anytime those shafts would touch, these pumps, either the gear style pumps and or these variable displacement pumps, we've seen it on both series. Any end loading of that shaft is detrimental to pump performance. It'll take your pump out. So those alignment and distance or depth setting have all been things reported through Kinsey and have caused physical damage to pumps. Okay, good question. So once again, this design it has taken a lot of those things into account, and hopefully will help eliminate or minimize those risks. Absolutely. All right. Going back over my notes, guys, kind of recap things as we wrap things up. Number one, the pump mount is a requirement. You can't plant without it, and it is not a Kinsey part. So when you order a new planter, order a pump mount, you have to have it. It's specific to the tractor for the customer. All right. If you have any questions on the pump mounts, you can certainly give us a call here at Kinsey or contact us at dealerconnect@kinsey.com. We'd be happy to send you the contact information for the pump mount suppliers. The folks at Ag Engineering here and just down the road in Wellman, Iowa, Steve Rogers, happy to talk to you about any of your requirements that you might need, and we can forward that information along. Guys, they are a wear item, meaning not the structure of the pump mount itself, but the coupler and the chain. As much as we don't want to say that it is a consumable, we would expect with good installation and lubrication and maintenance, they will last for years of service. But yes, over time, please expect that the couplers themselves and the chain will wear and will need to be replaced. Excuse me. Realign it every time. It doesn't matter what style you're working with. It makes it pretty easy with the alignment tool. If you happen to lose the alignment tool, for example, misplace it, in this case, they are available individually. You can just get yourself a new one. Guys, kind of watching the question. Number one, thank you again for being with us today. A little bit of a change of schedule, a little bit of different format for us. It was kind of fun to do kind of a live install. Zach, we really appreciate all of your work getting that done. But based on our time commitments today, we are going to close the session. The link for the attendance survey, Brandon's going to put up in the Q&A. And if for some reason we get it every time we have a session, it doesn't work for you, you can't get logged into it, whatever that might be, guys, we understand those concerns. Just reach out to dealerconnect@kinsey.com. Let us know that you need the attendance link for today's segment on PTO pump mounts and installation. We'll be happy to forward it to you direct via email rather than trying to get it off of the Teams Q&A side. Not a problem whatsoever. And like I said, guys, the questions on there won't take you but a couple of minutes. They are, hopefully, yes, you're paying attention today, but also truly more of an attendance opportunity. Just like Cullen started the meeting with, I've got several guys in the room. Glad that you could all be with us. We want you to get credit for attending. All three of you guys can log in, four of you guys, whatever it is, can log in to this link and make sure that your attendance is recorded. All right. Very good. Guys, thank you very much. Tomorrow, same time. We're going to do it one more time this week. We would like to see you all come back for a Blue Vantage installation. We're going to put a Blue Vantage display and cab kit harnessing not only from the battery power forward or rearward, but also all of the GPS cabling and questions that go along with GPS requirements will be in tomorrow's service webinar. So we'll see you then. Thank you very much and have a great day.